Hello. Happy Friday. Thank God. And it's Halloween tomorrow, too. Yay, holidays. Hello. Hope you're had a good week. Hopefully your week is over. If not, I'm sorry. Shit, here we go again. What does this mean? Sounds negative. Here we go, burning the horses again. All right. So, I think I band-aided the audio issue. But every time I've said that before, it never works. So I'm hoping it works. So, let me know if the audio sounds weird again. Not that audio. but thanks for the follow, Freezy. Actually, this is a bad choice of song because it already sounds kind of weird at the beginning. Yeah, there we go. No, let me know if it sounds weird, because I think I didn't solve it, but I think I at least made it so it shouldn't be an issue. So let me know if that's clear, because if it's not, then we have to change plans. Yeah, stay safe for sure. Halloween is not particularly celebrated. Well, because of COVID, even in America here, it's not really. It's being celebrated. Like, I'm going to hang out with my family, my like parents and siblings and their nieces and nephews, but they're not doing any outside stuff for it. But I'm gonna go forward as if audio works. Again, let me know if it's bubbly or something, or just doesn't sound right. The issue was when I started the audio, it was fine, but anytime I changed scenes, it sounds fine. Hallelujah. Last couple streams have not worked. It was a Hertz compatibility issue. Only when I changed scenes, it would work fine until I changed scenes. And since I start with a pre-roll, as soon as I change scenes, it would completely break the audio for the rest of the stream. So but that was because it was muting the audio in the background when I was changing scenes. Now I have that scene in everything, so no matter what I go to, it should be running and not cutting out. And it's a band-aid. Band-aids are fine. So yeah, this is a new project. We started it last week, but then since audio issues, I stopped. I'm sure you're interested too. Just whatever friends. I see your animation, whatever. I freaking love it. I can ask how much hours to put in that animation with robotic sweet bell. Unfollowed. Sad. You're trying to double follow is what you're doing. That actually, I worked on a lot of it on stream. So if you actually go back a couple weeks, you'll see it. My second YouTube channel, I have been really slow in uploading that stuff. I just uploaded a whole bunch though. So over the next week, those should be popping up on my second YouTube. I don't know if you are back. It's not telling me, but yeah, that took probably 15-20 hours. Yeah, if I had to take a guess, because the animation for it was, I did the red, and for reference as to what we're talking about here. No, actually, it's in here. Okay, so these are actually kind of complicated. I should actually go to the details of how some of this was done, because it's and it was a little difficult, so I can't really show it without doing a couple other things. But it was, I had to do the red bit, and then all the other camera angles were super quick. I was just turning the camera, re-rendering. Re-rendering was the hardest part with that. And then even the green, like Happy or Sweetie Belle, it just took a couple hours just to swap out some textures and then like reposition. So that was pretty easy. So, but it was probably about 15-20 hours. But no, so for videos that have typography, like Prince does, and even for the typography specific for that wasn't needed, but for all the other effects, the requirements were 4K and layered. 4K so that it could be zoomed in and camera moved around within that video freely, without having to have a reduction in quality. That's why it's at 1440. But it was also to layer it. So these are all the original renders for this. And if I go to this, so this is, I was waiting for it to say that. That's fine. We'll open it with a program that actually knows what it's doing. So this was rendered originally. This is uncompressed, so it's kind of running a little weird, but it's layered. So there's actually a transparent background in there, and to get so that I could, so it was a transparent background, and then I sent the actual background. So the background is actually a PNG that was behind it, and then the animated portion in front of it that allowed both animation to be put in front of and behind in After Effects. That actually was harder to do than I thought it would be, mainly because I actually have a so there is a green screen version of this, but if I utilized the green screen version of it, it would actually distort a lot of the blue from these little rockets here and a couple other things on the edges and even stuff within the texture, and I couldn't get it to work right. So instead, I had to use the green screen as a mask, or to create a mask that then would get placed on top of a black version. It was really annoying, but it ended up working to where the result was what we were looking for. Otherwise, like the green screen turned this yellow around here. It was annoying. But I learned some stuff, and that's to me even more valuable. So, and then not only that, but then I had to do it like 6 times because of the 2 different renders. But yeah. Things that are complicated. It was complicated, but I knew it was all possible. And to me, that's a difference. If you know all the steps you have to go through, it's not as frustrating as seeing a problem and not knowing how to get to that solution. I at least knew that there was a way to do it. And actually, I was going a much more complicated way, and then Prince said something and it clicked, and I'm like, oh, wait, I got a better way to do this. And I just took two different things I knew and I merged them together. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. His editing for it made it 10 times better too. So anyways, so what I want to do for today, since we actually have audio working, God bless, is to start something new and very short. I just want to make something. Reminds me about good old days before SFM where Machinos were making Gary's mod. Yeah, and I used to do Gary's mod. I have... Where are they? I deleted a lot of them from YouTube. For other not because I'm trying to hide old stuff, but because I was using copyrighted music, and that was actually preventing me from doing certain things on my channel because it was considering that I was using too much copyrighted stuff. Oh yeah, I changed my drives. So do I still have some of these? No, I don't think I have the original. No, I did download them beforehand. I don't know where I put them, but I do have a bunch of Gmod stuff. Gmod was awesome. Gmod was what I learned the source engine on. If it wasn't for Gmod, I would not know as much about SFM. But no, so the easiest thing to start something short and make something short off of is to grab some of the horse audio from TF2 from however long ago. And so I was trying to find some that I could make something within like 2 to 3 streams. So like about a 10-hour video. And I found 2. This Soldier has some amazing stuff, but those are much, much longer. So I'll let you guys decide what direction you want. I have a preference, but I want to get your opinion. So the 2 that I had for an idea here were from Demo Man and Sniper. Sniper's just a little bit more complicated, but also I think it'd be really funny. So the first one,
you cannot stop the magic.
I think it'd be funny to have like Twilight bust through a wall and then just like screaming that at people, and then maybe like the CMC's really scared or something. I don't know the details of it exactly, but I think something like that. And the other one, this is the one I kind of prefer. And this is Sniper. And I think that would, I'll play it first and then I'll say what the idea was.
Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made.
So I wanted to put Applejack with a horn on saying that, but then have it fall off and then have her say,
ah, piss.
I think it'd be like Applejack's like, yay, I can do things now. And then she can't because she's an earth horse. I like that one. Because I think the other one would require a bit more extra work, and in animating, this one would be actually pretty easy, other than the lip syncing. Keyboard Cat says to go with that one. Well, I said that one. I'm going to assume it's that one you meant. You vote angry Twilight. All right, we're 1-1. You want to prefer the AG one? Okay, unless Keyboard Cat was talking about the Twilight one. I don't know. I'm kind of going, you know what? I know what we can do, because I know not everybody likes talking. We will do. You guys can help me decide on what to do. All right, so we're gonna do. Sure, you guys just heard him. This is demo, and then this is Sniper. Okay. All right. Oh, and then I go and click the wrong button. All right. So you guys. Oh, you know what? I can't. I actually need to go to Twitch because I don't. It's on a different computer. Boo, boo, boo. Where is chat? There we go. You guys could duke it out. I don't know where those voices are from. No, no, those are direct from TF2. There was an event. was probably like 6 or 7 years ago at this point that had like they all had like pink unicorn hats on, and the day that they came out with it, I actually made this. Oh, hold on, I gotta set up my audio.
I can feel the unicorn friendship magic coursing through my veins.
Wow.
I can feel the unicorn friendship magic coursing through my veins.
Just looking back at that now, I actually thought that was really well animated, and now it seems really, really basic. Wow. They've come a long way. I didn't expect it to. I thought yeah, that's weird. I mean, that's good. You should always improve. AJ with horn. Okay, well, it looks like that one's winning. I don't see that one. I'm seeing some catch up, but it's still going to take a while. I'm going to give that another minute, but I'm going to start loading up some stuff. In the meantime, just too loud. It's been a while since I've actually got to play music. Oh, it's as quiet as I can get it. Okay. So today I want to try to get everything set up for a video. Whether or not I'm able to I want to try to push off any lip syncing till either next time or where I can do some of it in the meantime. Because they're usually just the setup, planning, and everything for a video takes a little bit as it is. But it also, to me, is one of the fun parts, at least for me. It's like, it's where you can actually pull the idea out and make it something real. Yeah, but that was video was actually made. When was that rendered? So that was rendered. It says October 15th, modified October. Oh, what was it? Oh, it was created October 15th because that's when I moved everything to this new drive. So it was October 30th. Oh, so it must have been during the Halloween event for TF2 back in 2013. TF2 is really old. It still looks really good and I really like it, but I haven't played TF2 in like probably half a decade. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played it too. I used to play it all the time. Dust Bowl. I used to play on a Dust Bowl only server that would just play on Dust Bowl on repeat, and the server would only reset every 24 hours, so you could build up points for like 10-hour game session. People could join and be like, you have 1,500 points, and nobody could catch up to you unless they played with you for hours and hours and hours. It was fun. I used to play Medic. Battle Medic. So is there any change on that? Nope, we're still sitting with AJ winning. So I kind of want to do both at some point, but this is right now that because of the Prince thing taking up the time, animating time for a certain period, I wasn't able to do anything larger. So I want to just get something out there that's not just a highlight every week. I love doing the highlights. They are, well, I want to find somebody to do them for me, but they are fun. I just know that's not what everybody comes onto the channel for. All right, so
Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made.
So the one thing with this one is a lot quieter. So we're gonna balance this out by dropping this one's volume. Let's see if we can.
Becoming a unicorn
we can
was
balance
the
them
best
out.
decision I ever made. Piss.
Because that was doesn't have a set volume now. Because I can always boost it in post.
The best decision I ever made. Piss.
Is it 14 years old now? TF2? Yeah. I guess I could see that because it was put out with the orange box. And I was... Oh, wow. I was in college. No, it couldn't have been 14, could it? Yeah, I think it was. I was in early college when I went to a different college after my normal college. Long story, but that was like early 20s. Yeah, so 14 years ago I would have been 22. Wow. Somebody remembers SFM Apple Dash. That was the very first video that made me explore the Brony community and launch the show on tech. Finally, really, that's cool. That was anytime somebody brings up a video, I just feel like I need to bring up something like weird about it. That was built off of an image that I found that I really liked, and I wanted to explore a different genre, and that's why I made that. I tried making comedy and serious and all that, and that was romance, so I wanted to give it a shot. And I liked it so much that I ended up just making right after it the Twi Dash. Okay. So this is probably gonna have to start her talking right away.
Becoming a unicorn.
Yeah, we'll do that. And this will be Applejack. And let's get a camera in here. And if you always see me when I make a camera, I'll always rename the camera main camera. And then I will also right click it, go on Shell Limit Viewer, and name it main camera here. The reason I do that is because this name is visual. This name is actually what shows up here. So whatever I name it, so if I name it blah, 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 that's what it'll show up here. And I like having it say main camera there. I almost feel like I should probably put it like in all caps or something over here, just because I'm gonna try that here now, actually. Mainly because it'll help create a difference in the look of the wording, so that it doesn't look the same, because main and work about the same or similar. 2 is a legendary game. I make many friends in it. I have a friend that still plays that game religiously. He uses it as a psychological experiment of trying to see how he can direct groups and lead and everything. But he has every achievement. Now, if somebody hasn't seen TF2 recently, where is the achievement list? Why can't I see the achievements? Oh, sorry, I'm blind. Never mind. There's 520 achievements, and he has every single one of them. I don't know how. To me, that's just... Some of those are very situation based. You actually, my introduction to the bronies around half a year ago. All right, cool. And how now I'm making an effort to watch all the episodes. When I joined, it was season 2, so there wasn't even that much to go through. You have a ton of stuff to go through. Sad thing is you missed a lot of the drama, the cool drama that happened along the way. But at the same time, you just have a giant ocean of content to go through, which is pretty cool. I didn't have that much when I started, but I got to see people grow. And to me, that's more fun. I love seeing growth. All right, so we need to get our camera in here, so probably gonna go with this 50 mil. Talk about commitment. I was already a brony by the time I found you. My introduction to SFM as a whole, and my personal reason for learning 3D. Well, that's cool. I'm hoping it's going well for you. It is, to me, SFM animation and all that is my outlet. It's in my family, everybody seems to need a creative outlet to, thanks for the foul dream, to maintain sanity. And I've always needed one. I used to do, or like my older sister does jewelry. My younger sister has done art. And my brother is for somebody that makes things with his hands. Very, he'll just build stuff. And just like projects around the house type stuff, but he likes to make stuff with his hands. I like computer stuff, and I used to do web development. I went and got a degree in it because I thought I would like doing it as a job, and I didn't. But I did Halo photography, which include modding Xboxes, then website development that led into Gmod and a lot of other stuff. And this has been my current outlet, probably the longest running one for quite a while. But it is nice having a method to express yourself, because sometimes it's just, if you ever, it's one thing to just consume, but you need to be able to have some output as well. Otherwise I would go crazy personally. Like I've had times where I haven't worked on stuff for a while, and like not what it's called taking a break, but it just where I wasn't as motivated. But eventually, I always get a tickling in the back of my brain that I need to make something and do something. Okay, so there is no Applejack colored horn, so we're gonna have to make one. That actually didn't quite. There we go. And thanks for the follow, Froster. His seekers our name is actually like on the pillars of Brony stuff. Man of Legend, almost as cool as Rainbow Dash. Almost. Thank you. Thanks for the follow, Jones. It's well, that's cool. Oh, thanks for the subscription, Simon. Appreciate it. I never like looking at myself like that. As being any level of popularity within things. Because early on in the fandom, there was a couple of people I knew that in like our local group, they're not there anymore, thankfully, but they were very much about, this is me and I do this and you got to check this out and I'm big and whatever. And they really were nobody at that point, but they were very stuck up on things. And so I made it a point early on, like even with the local Brony group, because I started SFM like March of whatever year, and at the same month was I joined a local Brony group, and I got popular really quick, but I didn't tell anybody who I was at that group for like a year and a half. And the only reason I did was because they had a local convention and I started doing panels, and then I was announced to be a part of Anthology, and at that point I couldn't hide it anymore. But I preferred it that way because then I am me instead of that person online. Now for the group online, I am no longer Andrew, I am Argo, and because that is a personality that went above who I was before, and it's fine because then at least they got to know me beforehand. But I've always preferred just to be me. It's good. It's a good thing that I got into everything in like my late 20s though, because I didn't have to deal with identity crisis and all that stuff. But we do need to make. I'm going to work on coloring this horn, and I know I don't think he's on yet, but somebody did have a question regarding texturing on stuff, and that's kind of what we're going to do here. But I'll go into more detail if he shows up. Argo had to hide his horsepower. No, it's more of I didn't feel like it was it's like when you're on Steam and all the games have different tags on them to define what they are and to help you people searching and knowing what you're looking at. I didn't want that tag on me yet, and I would prefer if it wasn't. Actually, until the COVID thing, I was actually deciding to step away from doing panel or community guests on stuff, because I just felt like I was trying, by doing it, I was trying to prop myself up to be something that I didn't want to be. So I was still going to do panels, but I was going to no longer advertise myself. And originally I wanted to start backing away, still do YouTube, still do everything just the same, but back away from being like going to conventions and like waving my arms. The COVID thing has been where I want to help the conventions, so I've been still putting in the applications as normal, because anything to help them survive and keep going. But yeah, but even then, it's mainly just been for the ones I usually go to. I need to get her textures and stuff, so I'm gonna put an override on that and an override on this. I need to do the override on this because I need to find this material. I do not know where it is. I'm going to cheat my way to it. Ha. Modesty is a great quality, I think. Yes and no. It's a fine line. If you go too far into the hand waving, you're stuck up. But if you go too far the other direction, it almost feels like, I don't know what you want to call it, but there's a middle ground you have to look for. And originally I was trying to go too far that other direction. I've found what kind of a good middle ground now. I think this one's just the base color one. So the way that I normally will do this is, so I opened up this. Now I need to get her color, and I need to make sure it's a match. So I'm going to go back to SFM here. We're going to go to Applejack. And I want to open up her body texture. Actually, I can probably just boom, boom. Okay. Thanks for the fall, Terrier. and it barked. Or guess who's here and what you doing? Oh, hello. Okay, so I'm kind of actually doing what you were looking to do. So DJ Jazz was just up in the chat there. Sup. He was asking about recoloring models, and because he had, at least for his specific purpose, was I need to have this existing in SFM and it doesn't exist. But if it's already, if there's another model that's similar, you can just recolor it all to make it work with the way which you're looking for, and it's actually pretty easy. So the couple steps to it are, first, find the model that you're looking to recolor. In this case, let's just pretend it's Applejack. I'm going to be recoloring this horn, but it's essentially the exact same process between the two. But say that Applejack had the exact body shape that you're looking for. If one person has a mane that's what you're looking for, and another one has a tail that's what you're looking for, and you want to put the two together, that does get a lot more complicated. It's definitely doable. I do it all the time, but it does make things messier for animating. If it's somebody that's like a Rainbow Dash recolor, that's very, very easy to do. So first, find the model. So let's just say we're going to use Applejack. Then it's going to be about finding where those textures are located. The cheater way to do it is, and this will all be recorded, Dash, so you can look it up a little more at a different pace later, is to right click and add override materials, which I've already done. Then go into show an element viewer and model. This is going to show you all the materials that you have on here. This is the material path for what you're looking for. So you can copy that, but this is kind of missing its, like the initial file path. This is a relative, not a specific. So to go and find that folder that the model is in, if you actually right click, you can go show game model in Explorer. This will open up at least the game file that it's in. You can kind of go backwards and see enhanced ponies. I know all about combining 5 different ponies to just make a unique character. Yeah, I love doing that. I don't like to commission or request things from people unless I need to. So you can see going back here, there's game and then user mod, and this means that this is like the main game folder. So if I go back to user mod, now that I know it's in here, go to materials, and now I just paste that thing on there. So it's going to say materials models. Before you were in models, that's not the same thing. It's materials models. But I am also directly going to the texture, so I got to remove this last word. So it's to the folder. Now I'm at Applejack's folder. So I've already exported a lot of this, but you're going to need to download VTF Edit, which looks like this. Just Google it. I don't think the program's been updated for 6 or 7 years, but it doesn't need to because SFM's older. But it works wonderfully. So you'll want to open up the texture that you're looking to export. Depending on the texture, it might take a little bit because these are uncompressed. You can see here I got AJ's color. So let's say that you're wanting to update the texture of the body. So we'll go to File, Export, and then you'll export this to the folder. And this will just create it as a TGA, which I already have in here. And when I open that, you'll see that this is what it looks like now. And so this is where I could either completely redo everything that's on here, or I could copy paste a different picture over this by like cover this up and put a new cutie mark there. All the textures are mapped on here. I do have an overlay that I can put on if I need to know where on the body something is, but really if the cutie mark is there, just put the texture over the cutie mark. You want to keep this pink. Other than that, really just do whatever you want with it, any of the colors or anything. So we're going to go and do the horn, and then I can show the parts for getting it back into the software. So what I normally do for trying to get something to match the correct color here is I'm going to put like just a bunch of this color here. Then I'm going to go back here, adjustment hue, and now I'm going to try to adjust the hue on this background one to get it to match. The reason I do it this way instead of just like recoloring everything is because then I can get these to match the correct hue, which is a little bit more difficult. So we're going to say that's probably pretty close. Increase saturation, and then let's see here. You can always get to that color eventually because you're able to hit basically everything. So it's got to keep playing with some values until you find the match. Let's see here. So I'll keep going until like there feels like the right brightness for now. It looks like I need to drop the saturation a little bit. No. Put the saturation up a bit more. I think I need to have the saturation up a bit like this and then just play with this value a bit more. Yeah, it's like right here, but a little bit more yellow. Thanks for the follow, Super. Yeah, this one I'm having a little bit difficulty finding that little, because right now it feels greener. Maybe it's this. Usually I can find it a little bit quicker than this. Oh, there we go. Okay, almost there. So let's just darken it a little bit more. Okay. I cannot see the edges of that circle anymore, which usually means then we're good, or at least close enough. Bam, we have AJ. Kinda. Can we see this? The streams are like got a whole source film like a tutorial. Oh, well, that's actually the reason I do these is actually for helping people. When I started out doing SFM stuff, I had a lot of people asking questions and wanted one-on-one help, and that was difficult. So I started streaming as a way of, if you have a question, bring it up here and I'll explain everything. Thanks for the subscription, Stab Rapid. I hope I didn't butcher that, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. So DJ Jash, so this is now where, say you modified your texture, whatever you want. So I'm going to save as, and this, you can do this in GIMP or Photoshop. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. And I'm keeping this as a Targa. I don't want to save over the original horn. So I'm going to call this horn underscore AJ. 32 bits fine. Now you will see, gotta go back to horn. I think it was just called horn, right? No, it was pony parts. There we go. So let's say it says horn AJ. So I'm gonna go into my VTF edit, or we're gonna say file import, not open, file import. I need to get that specific file. Where is it now? Horn AJ. Basically ignore everything on this screen. If you want to make a bump map, sure. And if you want to play with things, sure. But all the defaults should be fine. Hit OK. And the texture will be loaded. I will recommend, unless it's a flat color or something not, or very not important, check no bitmap, no level of detail. Those will make it so that a texture will blur at a distance. That isn't really good for a character. And it's for efficiency, and I don't care about efficiency. So now we've loaded it. Now we don't want to export. Exports again to make it an editable file. We want to actually save as, because now it's showing as a VTF. So we'll do save as. We're in pony parts. We're going to do the same thing. Horn underscore AJ. Now this depends now if you want to make this a permanent change to the model or a temporary. If you do it as a permanent, you'll want to actually go into the VMT, which is the Valve Material. I forgot what the T is. It just Valve Material? Whatever. It's something. And you can then redirect this to horn AJ. What this will do though is it will change that model for everything. So if you retextured Rainbow Dash, it's going to make all Rainbow Dashes that you have in any file when you load it become this new texture. I don't like doing it that way, unless it's literally a permanent change you're making. The temporary way to do it is we're going to go into our horn, show an element viewer model, and we're going to override it within this file. So we're going to go to horn, right click, add attribute string, and we're going to overwrite base texture. And from looking at this file, we're overwriting this part of the texture. You can already see right now, since I basically overwrote it to a blank, it doesn't know what the hell to do with it. So it's just going to make a purple horn. So to make this nice and easy, I'm just going to copy and paste the original. It's now going to be purple again, but now I just have to go to the end of it and add the text instead of writing the whole thing. Come on. Here we go. Horn AJ. Bam. Now she is a unicorn. Does this have... Oh, it doesn't have reverse main. I was hoping this one had the reverse main, because that'd be pretty nice for this. Is it Transmutator? Who the hell Valve wrote that one? I mean, it sounds fancy. I like it. But, like, I just learned what CAPTCHA stands for today. You know that term? For when you have to type in things. CAPTCHA stands for Completely Automated Public Turing Test to Tell Computers and Humans Apart. I think that's kind of cool, but it sounds like at the beginning here, they started an abbreviation and then they kind of like figured out that they didn't have the space to make something catchy. So then they just started throwing more words in. And a Turing test is a legitimate test used for whether or not you can tell something is a robot or not. So that term I know, but I've never heard that before. I think that's funny. You're on the MacBook Air for SFM. That runs. Hello, Waffles. Oh, okay. Well, you told it to me like it's... You know what? Screw it. We're going to go look it up now. It's vehicle miles of travel. That's what it is. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Valve material type. I actually, though, now I kind of want it to be Transmutator, because it's kind of cool. And you were 2/3 right. We can just round up. All right. So close. All right. So we have our AG with our horn. So I'm hoping that helped you, DJ Jazz. That method works for anything to retexture. There's other elements of it if you want to get more complicated, where if you want to change some of the properties about it to make it glow, or I'll sometimes just retexture something to gray, and then I'll use the in-engine color changing to actually get the colors I'm looking for. It's an efficient way to make a large group. And bump maps are also super powerful and super cool, but are another complexity to add on top of that. And also the pony models faces, you can put some pretty good detail right here, but anything really else other than that, you're going to get some weird stretching in some areas. That's probably not going to be what you're looking for. For instance, like Little Pip here, you can see here, this texture is the same detail across the whole thing. But you can see here that the detail kind of starts getting a little bit smudgy up here compared to the detail on here, especially on the ear here. It starts really getting stretched. That, and when eyes close and open, you're going to be stretching that texture as well. Because you can see here, it's stretching this little bit right here all the way to that middle point. And it's the same way everywhere. Well, kind of. The other thing you have to be careful of is when you're playing with body parts, the reason that there's not much dirt here is, for one, she was wearing a barding, and the cut for the texture to map together is right along this line right here, which makes it really, really hard to get textures to match up between the two. There's also... I can't remember where the line is on the legs here. I think I did a pretty decent job of trying to hide that. I'm gonna say it's right there, but can't remember. That and the bottom of the hooves are also a different part of the texture, so she's dirty. Cutie Mark stretching too. As long as you stay within a certain area, like Little Pips is a little large, and some models I've seen that some of them are done not so well, so that there will be a bit more stretching. But usually, as long as you're kind of sitting in probably this area and not much more, you can probably go a bit higher. You're fine. If you go outside of that, you're going to have more issues. And this is also where bump maps are coming in handy. So this model actually has a bump map on the leg, which will give it that feeling that there is some kind of a light source, or not a light source, depth to the object, even though if you get up close, there is no actual depth, just artificial depth. To the way I've seen it for like video games in the past, probably even decade, it's not been about adding detail to by adding more polygons. It's about adding detail by making bump maps more powerful. Have super detailed bump maps. Ever wonder if life is just a texture stretch over a giant polygon? Sure. Life isn't real. We're all part of the Basilisk's plan. Play Madden, there are stretch textures for 7 feet tall players. Yeah, and again, that's them trying to take the same proportion and all the animations and with everything and make it work for any size things, so you're gonna get stretching. Okay, go away, Pip. We don't want you anymore. Go take a bath. All right, so we got our Applejack. I don't know what scene to put her in. Like, what scene do we want her in? Let me hear the audio again.
Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made. Ah, piss.
There's just some Applejack like models floating around. I could just throw a bunch in the background. I think that's probably going to be the best bet. Why are you making this? Because I need to put something out. I don't want to go too long without putting anything out. After this is done, I'll probably work on a Rathlos thing. Well, I mean, this will probably be like a week or two before I get it done. But I'll probably work on another Rathlos thing because I haven't put anything out on that Twitter account in a while. I think since the stream. No, the stream. Yeah, I made an animation for the stream. So I guess that's about the last thing I made for that. Okay, so this is going to be actors. Horn's an actor. Sure. Let's shrink down our files so we're not looking at such a big thing here.
Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made. Ah, piss.
Still feel like this needs to be set a little bit lower.
Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made. Ah, piss.
Okay, they're about even now. I was checking the stream's audio. See how that turned out. Okay, then I can just turn it up a bit.
I ever made. Ah, piss.
Yeah, they're pretty even now. Okay. So we need to add some kind of a background for it. So, well, we need a barn. That's a barnacle. Thanks for the follow, Epic. Haha. There's a barn. Ooh. Let's do this one. Okay, there's a barn. There's a barn. Okay. Oops. Oh, now we need... There was that, like, barn ground. I have a feeling it's this one. I'm thinking we go in here. Is that where they go? I don't remember. I'd have to watch Nutrifin's video again to know exactly where things go in there. The community barn. That makes it sound worse. Okay, I probably should, oh. Actually, that'd probably be a good idea. We're gonna 0 the ground, and then 0 this too. Okay. Because these, I'm guessing they're on the same... whatever. Actually, no, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I bet you it goes right here. Because I bet you this is like... This is the door for the community to go out into their pen. The community of talking pigs. And talking livestock. Like this, maybe? Yeah. Sure. It's a very small barn. We're gonna... Now, this is going to be interesting to figure out how to place it. I'm guessing that if I had to take a guess, that this is meant to be right up to the wall. Probably not like that. Because you got to think about flat bits. So it's got to sit here. And it's not clipping anywhere like this. So that kind of makes sense. Does it have a barn door? No, it doesn't have a barn door. The door's open, but I can't close it. What if the pigs get out? And I can't even... I mean, I won't complain. This is for a visual background thing, so putting those bones in might have been a little extra work, but... Yeah, that actually looks ominous. Like, there should be some lightning flashes in the background and, like, children screaming. Did you just miss my redeem? I'm guessing so. That's what you're talking about. Essentially looks like the links up there. Okay, cool. Has anyone already decided which console to take in this generation? I already picked my console. It's this one. PC. Though, if I had to pick, I am a fan of PlayStation. I like the exclusives. Well, I'm a fan of Final Fantasy, and but I probably won't pick up any of them. It is... I enjoy PC enough. I don't need any more. Okay, we'll do that. Oops. So the reason I picked 50 for the camera bit, for those that aren't aware, that is traditionally, this is for like camera zoom, 50 millimeter is traditionally what you would consider your eyes see the world from, and for this type of thing, I probably want to make it look like we're standing next to her, and so it gives people the sense that they are a part of the shot. All right, so that was barn. There should be precursors, so Apple Acres. I think we'll just use one of, let's use this one. Should the powder jump into anything on the screen? It'd be great, but then like, what if we're like playing Doom? So originally, do I want to have it zoomed in like this, or do I want to have it backed up to show all of her? The only reason I kind of want to have it zoomed in like this is if I do it zoomed in, the animation is a lot easier. I don't have to deal with anything with the ground. If I have it backed up further, it would be a little better in terms of the horn dropping, because I'd be able to show it drop onto the ground or into something. But it would make animation a good bit more complicated. VR. Well, I guess in a way. There's no tactile feedback though. But if I do have it where it's on the ground in front of her, I would require quite a bit more ground detail too, though. Like grass and stuff like that. Superface. Why did that not... Hold on. I want to make sure that this is going through. Yeah, Kite did. I'm sorry. Apparently my chat is not showing it on there. It's popping up with the other one. Now I got two of them. I'm sorry about that. I apparently missed that. Let me... Oh, I don't have it up on this one. All right, well, I'll get one here. Normally it shows up in the streams thing, but apparently not today. Stupid face. Might have overkilled that a little bit. It's got to at least fit on her head. Oh my god. Wait. My drink is in the way. Oh, now it's in front of chat. Okay, we're gonna move it over here. No, I can't. Whatever. I need a cup holder. Let's do a hat. Anybody ever seen Coneheads? It's like it's got pigtails. When is it old? When did that come out? 90s? That was an SNL skit. Turned into a bit more than that, but she does have a head in her horn. This is just someone asks what Coneheads was before I got video, or asking if we've seen it. Really? I didn't do anything to AJ. You will respect her life choices. If she wishes to be unique, you let her be unique. Oh, I can't spin them. Oh. Alright, I need to... Let's put her horn back to normal. There we go. All fixed. I think. Yes. I haven't got enough. Alright, have a good one. Have a good night. Now I want to put that monstrosity in the Dallas Cowboys device. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay, she's got to be a bit more serious here. Let's go put neutral. And I don't think, at least for now, I'm going to hide the eyebrows. Normally, if I'm doing something short, it's just not worth the effort. I can always go back to them again later, but for now, I'm just going to get rid of them. Okay. So now this is that thing again. Do I want to have... Oh, no, this is fine. So this is the focal distance is on her face. Put the aperture up a little bit. Do I want to have a... Do I want to show the ground? Is essentially the question. I think no. Only because if I'm trying to make this short, it's not going to be short then. Or it's not going to be as short. Like I mentioned, I want to try to do this in about 2 to 3 streams. I'm going to push this a little bit further away. Push her up a little bit. Yeah. Because I can use layers of ground now to kind of hide stuff. So here, we'll do that, and then, so this is going to be ground 1. I think there's a flatter ground one. Do this one. Actually, let's see if I can just do... So this is going to be ground 2. See if I can just grab this model, flip it around, put it over here. I don't think that'll work because it's not using the hump of the ground to hide anything, which is actually what I want to do. I see you later, Waffles. Have a happy Halloween, yes. I thought about trying to do something more Halloween-y, but... I didn't come up with anything. Well, I had an idea for something Halloween-y, but then the Sweetie Belle thing kind of came up, and so I put that one to the wayside for now. Okay, we'll put that there. So just kind of layering some background stuff. So there was a couple with trees, but they were very small trees. So that to me means far background. Well, I guess actually this is far enough back. Let's see how this works. Oh yeah, that's far enough back. I probably should, just so I can make sure I'm maximizing my distance. Move her into the corner there. Then I get the maximum distance to portray. Wait, there were 2 unicorns, 2 Pegasi, but 1 unicorn became all races. Yes. Which means there's technically 1 less unicorn representation in the group, because Twilight, in a way, embodies all 3. Depending on how you look at it, I guess. The only 2 you can actually see are one thing, but is she part Earth Pony? Did they ever explain that? Because she gets wings, but is she actually gaining 2 powers or just 1, and it's only the visual one? I don't think they ever really covered that. But did they ever actually say it? Or is that just like an assumption made by the community? I don't want to have... I'm going to shrink these down a little bit. I was going to put them covering the horizon more, but that's going to be difficult with the... I don't want to put too much behind the barn, because it's just going to make it hard to see. So these 2 should technically be a little closer. in nature of alicorns as it relates to the other tribes. Yeah, I think it's implied. But I would the way I see it is if it's implied that she or if she doesn't have the power of all three, then it seems really weird that the Earth ponies, or that the leader of the nation is required to only maintain power of 2. That seems racist. Dirt pony love. All right, I'm gonna change this texture. I know where this is. I don't like it being purple. I don't know why I've never just changed this to blue. Maybe because it looks like shit blue. Has anybody played Final Fantasy X? And if they have, does this song remind you of Mount Gagaset? I don't. That might be ultra specific, considering that I listened to the Mount Gagaset theme on repeat for a while. But wow, that actually is. That was actually changing the... Okay, yeah, I needed the hardness up. This isn't going to matter too much, because it's just going to be kind of faded out, but I want it for future stuff too. Oops. Never got past Mount Gagazet. To me, the Mount Gagazet theme is... If you just want something nice and peaceful to listen to, look up Final Fantasy X's Mount Gagazet theme. It can play it on repeat, and it's just, or because it's a seamless loop. It is just beautiful to listen to. I used to just put it on repeat when working on stuff. I think even with SFM stuff, and just zone out and enjoy. It's good stuff. I mean, that's just Final Fantasy music in general, but okay. So this is actually, you know what? We can make this a bit bluer. We're gonna add. I feel like SFM is at least 30% non-SFM work. Photo filter. Blue. Ooh. It's kind of nifty. Ooh. I like that. I think that might be a little bit too much in some things. It's actually Your keyboard's breaking into the mainframe. Is it a little louder? I can move the mic if it is. There. It kind of has a little bit of a green to it. I think I'll leave it. I think it looks a little weird now, but I think it'll be fine once I... never have his mega is the Seymour boss fight. Oh, yeah, that was a tough one. But that was at the end of Mount Gagazet. At least you got to hear the songs. Because that's worth playing the whole thing through, is just to get to that point for the music. I'm joshing. I used to be a huge JRPG nerd. I still like JRPGs. I'm an old school, like Super Nintendo JRPG nerd. But I call it some blue hue. It was Final Fantasy X. I think I beat 3 times, like fully through, and one of the times I went and I probably had 200 hours in it. I completely redid everybody's grid completely, like removed and replaced everything on everybody's level grids, and these level grids are huge, so that they were specialized. And Waka, I remembered, I maxed out the possible amount of attack he could have, and I one-shot the boss of the game. Well, kind of. You can only do up to 1 health on his bar left. So I did, in one shot, I knocked him down to 1 health, and then I just had Yuna just walk up there and bap him with a stick. I used to play that way. I used to play JRPGs just way too much. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. That actually looks like it should. I've actually considered, because of the stream, because I really like mechanical keyboards, but in terms of audio for streams and stuff, not so good. So I have been considering swapping to a keyboard that would be quieter. Maybe the same button layout, but because I'm currently using what is this thing called? It is a Razer Black Widow Ultimate. Normally Razer to me is kind of overpriced garbage, where they make stuff that looks cool but only just acts mediocre. This is actually a pretty decent keyboard. I don't know what year. This is pretty old though. I've had it for a while. When I get through the cups of coffee, I'll force you to imitate rainbow, imitating pinky, imitating spies. Come on, I don't read books that often. Sure. I do want to add a couple more hills in here though. So this is going to be background. And well, technically the voice thing is for Michael, but Michael is currently in Kentucky visiting his family because his brother's wedding is tomorrow. That is a lot of cups of coffee. They don't count though. Where was just the standard flat ground? There we go. I'll just do that. It's tea. I guess you can say whatever you want. It's to me, it's coffee. Today was the day that I almost grabbed a third cup of coffee. I didn't really need it. It just sounded really good. And I didn't really do that much today. So like at my current job, I work something called the 980. So it's where every other week I get a Friday off. So I work within a 2-week period. I work 9 days, 80 hours. So I usually work 44 hours one week and 36 the next. And with every other Friday, I work. So I work 9 hours Monday through Thursday, and then one Friday I'll work 8 hours. The next Friday I get off, and this was my off Friday. So I got up like about 20 minutes later than I normally do for work. Got up, got coffee, sat down, and okay, today was a little more frustrating than I thought. I played video games for a little while. So the stream PC has been a headache, a big headache. So if for streaming, it's worked. I've had a couple issues with the audio thing, but that's been something separate. I've been having issues with setting up the RAID for the backup. I still haven't moved everything over, and it's been a month because I decided I was going to get a RAID controller. So I got a RAID controller. It was an older one and didn't support current stuff. I couldn't get it to work. So I'm returning it. Got a different one. I apparently rushed that a little bit, and I realized that it was not built for RAID 5. It was built for 0, 1, and 10. So I had to return that one. Try to get the original one to work again. Still didn't work. Decided to just go screw it and do Intel Rapid Storage for the RAID and to do a RAID 10 instead of a RAID 5 because when I finally got it to work for RAID 5, it was too slow for what I would need. So I was going to do a RAID 10, just 4 drives. So dropping down the storage, but it's a little more secure or more redundancy. I can't get it to succeed. I couldn't get it to finish. It could never initialize the drives. It kept failing. I swapped ports. I swapped hard drives. I swapped cables, and it kept failing, and it couldn't figure out why. I was actually just this morning, I was so pissed at the thing. I almost, because it kept failing in SATA port 2. So I thought, maybe it's the SATA issue. But for the type of issue that it is, it didn't make much sense. And so I flipped all the switches and just started trying other things. And as of right now, it's working. It's not initialized yet, but I couldn't get past 8 or 16%. It's at 54% now initialized. So I must have flipped the right switches because it's working. It's been 3-4 weeks of hell to get my backup storage set up. I went originally from a plan of having 24 terabytes. Now I'm down to about 11 to 12, but it's with extra redundancy and extra speed to do that. Whatever, I'm changing from 3 to 4 to 12. I have plenty to go from the future, but it's been actually beyond frustrating where I just didn't know what to do, and I only have a week left for returning stuff if things were a problem. The NAS hard drives are nice where if those do fail or are bad, I have 3 years warranty on that, but the return policy for Make It Easy is only up for another week. So I'm hoping this works, and if I do, it should be a lot faster, a lot better, and I can offload everything from here over because I'm considering basically gutting my whole PC and redoing it. I want to get a 6900 XT AMD card along with their 5950 processor. I don't have a bad computer as it is, but I I currently have a lot of flex cash on the side from work, and not YouTube stuff, my money. And it's I think I just kind of want to do a big one-time upgrade. But if I do that, I don't want to have all like the video stuff sitting on the computer just in case. So it's just been super frustrating. I just want to get it done. I'm looking forward to the raid working. I want to get all that stuff off of there. Everything right now, all the animations I've ever worked on, every video I've made, every animation I've made is all sitting on a single drive without a backup, meaning a single failure could lose everything. I have a UPS, I have a backup power supply, so I'm not worried about like a power outage or something causing a problem, but I want redundancy, and it's been bothering me. I want multi-layered redundancy, not just one or two. I want three. I don't know, like I watched for Final Fantasy 16, I saw the trailer for it looked interesting. And I know there's a lot more information out there on it, but it just didn't tickle my fancy or something. I don't know. It just didn't interest me yet. I really want to see more on it. And I think there is more out there than the trailers that they put out. I don't know. It just didn't feel like something I would run out right away to get. So I'm hoping that more info comes out on it. Unless there has been, and I'm just like making shit up, which I like to do. So we're gonna throw a couple of these hills out here. This is mainly just to separate the horizon. If I can do that, then I can actually move the skybox up just a teeny bit. But one of these, I don't want to have it be the same color ground. I want to kind of just a slight different hue. So we're going to go in here to our color. This is going to make it black. So this is RGB. So we're gonna go 111 to base, but I'm gonna make it just like a slightly washed out green. So I'm gonna go 0.81. Let's see if we do a 1.1, 0.9 to 1.1. Because I can't just make it brighter. Ugh. I mean, can I just do like this? And that's just a brighter green. That's just mud. I think I'm just gonna go with I'll just do it a little darker. It should be fine. Do that. This one further back. And then we need one in there. Actually, for that, I can use this one. You go away. This one is actually ground 4, I think. Yeah. I'm kind of a Final Fantasy fan. I'm playing Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7 Remake or Final Fantasy 7? Because I could talk to you all day about Final Fantasy. I don't know how old you are, but I've been around Like, I remember playing Final Fantasy IV when it came out. The original. Okay, good. Well, not good. Final Fantasy VII Remake, fantastic. Like, that was that. Other than some of the creative decisions for the directions they're going in, which I'll give them. I mean, they did. It looked good, but not what I would have done. But that's fine. Was an amazing remake. That was very. It blew my mind on on my expectations, and my expectations were high. But the original Final Fantasy VII is also very, very good. Your Discord not working? I do SFM, not Discord. Google would help you about as much as I would be able to. Sorry. Yeah, I might be able to put up that sky card a little bit. The one I've actually been wanting to go back to play is like 9. Nine I beat, but it was a long, long time ago, and I wanted to kind of go back to play it again. And I got a good ways through it. I left the first island and did some other stuff, but I never got into it like I wanted to. But I really wanted to go back to Final Fantasy VIII. Just do on it. That's 100%. Yeah, I'm not 100% it either. The only thing I really care back to go and do in Final Fantasy VII Remake right now is unlock Bahamut. But it's some of the stuff you have to do to get there with the leveling materia was just going to take too long, and I didn't want to farm it out. But the game was so good. That was so good. I've been actually trying to figure out, because I've been wanting to do some more game streaming on here, and I've been trying to figure out what to do with that. Like recently we were playing Plague, but that was on the Discord stream, and that was actually a lot of fun, but never really. Oh yeah, this isn't lit. Fun. And that one worked out really well, but I just don't know I don't know what to do on here. I kind of thought about finding a narrative RPG of sorts to play, but I feel like a Final Fantasy VIII or a Final Fantasy IX or something like that would be a little bit too rough. Because that's random encounter battles. I think that might be a little bit difficult to stream. The one that I really wish I would have done was Dragon Quest XI. That game was, if you need a good JRPG or looking for a good JRPG to play, Dragon Quest XI was that was one of my favorite JRPGs that's ever come out. So I'm trying to make a light right now that just kind of covers everything. This is where SFM 2 shines. Thanks for the follow, Fugaz. I'll double check. I didn't miss any other stuff on there, right? No. If there's anyone notice that there's not enough trees, this is an apple orchard. Yeah, I'm getting to it. I'll probably add more over time. These are the ones that are pre-built into it. I can manually add, but I want to start from the bigger picture and then weasel my way down. Are there some tree clusters in this set or something? There's individual trees, and then there are some clusters and stuff. I probably won't go overboard with that, though, because it's going to be a background for a short video. I don't want to like spend a whole bunch of time trying to figure out the nuances of lighting a background for something that's just going to be this short. Well, actually, if you're going to do the imitation, forgot. So Michael's not here. And when Michael's not here, his replacement takes over the imitations, and that's Chicken. I hate you all. Looks at me for affirmation. Get off there. Yeah, I forgot he's back there. Yes, replacement Michael. Get him a name tag. Somebody just sent me a direct message on Twitter. Prince Freezy, love your streams. Keep it up. You look like such a nice and chill guy. Oh, I appreciate it. I look like one. Whether I am one or not, that's still in question, but... Oh, these do have shadows on. I don't think I... Oh, now my drink's in the way. There. Chickens hate you. That feels like it has a story. Like, why do they hate you? I realized I was just going to do 2-point lighting, but because the angle that I'm using, I'm not actually lighting the front of the barn. I think I might need to do a low angle from here just to kind of get that lit. Yeah, that'll work. I love this song. This song, I had a video planned for. Like, a full video planned for it, where it was going to be a frozen in time moment during a battle of Nightmare Moon versus Celestia. And it was going to be on the same vein that back the old Halo 3 had, where they had this like diorama set up of this battle frozen in time, and they had a trailer going through it, and at the end had a motion in there added of the Master Chief moving, and it was something super cool. Of there's this super detailed thing frozen in time, and I had a full video plan for this song based on that. It just never came to fruition because like animation, you can cheat things a little bit. You can cut corners and whatever because things are moving. But when something is frozen in time like that, that's where we're getting into pictures where you can put ultra amounts of detail into everything. Well, now that you can have everybody stopped and looking at something, the amount of detail you have to put in is enormous. And that was a problem. And 2, I couldn't find a map that worked for what I was planning. And I didn't want to make one. Here, let me see. I have to, again, I'm not on that computer. Oh, I can't open it from here. Yeah, it was, the Believe trailer. Can I play this now that I'm on a different computer now, so I can actually play trailers. But it was just this frozen in time thing, and it would essentially been something like this, but it shots like that, where it would have been a lot more of these moving ones. I love this diorama thing. There's a whole bunch of trailers. Yeah, the campaign right here is even more on it. But yeah, I really wanted to do that, and I don't think I ever started it, but I had gotten a lot of notes down on how to progress and a lot of the planning for it, and I just never got to doing it. But it's like many things. I have tons of ideas still that I would like to do. It's just that they're big ideas that take way too long to start, and I don't want to invest time in any one of them until I know that is something that I'm willing to dedicate 6 to 10 months or something to doing. Especially at my current work pace of not very fast. I ask these just tag me on Discord for stuff. I do accept messages on Twitter, but I usually don't answer them. Well, because most of the messages I get on there are just hi or something. But Discord's the best way because it's easier for me to not lose the message. Otherwise I don't, when I'm in hermit mode, which is about 80% of the time, I will try not to opening up DMs or messages, because if I do, then I'll forget to respond to them when I'm in my 20% time of actually wanting to deal with humanity. So Discord is easier for me not to accidentally do that stuff with. We're gonna drop the brightness on that side a little bit. Maybe just increase this side. I don't even care about this looking all that great. That looks pretty decent. Because I'm a big Gundam fan, I got excited to see they have RX-78 2, the original Gundam moving. Oh yeah, the really big one in Japan. Yeah, I saw that. I saw some of that before. I think that's really, really cool. Only in Japan would they do that, though. Doesn't SM have a global lighting system represent the sun and sky dome light? Not within SFM's engine. Inside Hammer, you do. So in a pre-made map, you can have a light, but then that would require a whole bunch of other stuff to do. SFM2 does. SFM2 has, like, right now, if I want to add a light, it's just new light. Like, let's go on an adventure. No. Okay, I think trying to remember how you get to it. I think you go here, then play, and then launch workshop tools. It's been a couple months since I poked this. I have to still go finish Alex. Sure, let's do this one. Okay, so the one thing is, buttons are a bit different. Did it? Oh, I thought it crashed. Okay, there we go. It's something is a little weird, and it's taking a bit to load. But okay, so this is Half-Life Alyx, so I'm in Source 2. Game, it looks really good, but when you look, this is how I did like buildings and stuff too. It's about the same. But it is pretty neat. Where is the rooftop for when the game starts? Over here? Yeah, here. Kinda. There it is. So this is the rooftop where it starts. I don't know if anybody hasn't played Half-Life Alyx. So this is Source 2. There's a couple of problems with it. Like right now, to move things around, I have to use right click instead of left click. With a couple of things, it's backwards on a few things. Otherwise, basically runs about the same. But the couple of cool things are this. When you right click, these are super cool. For instance, directional light. Where'd you go? Probably went where the camera is. Okay, so this directional light is a light that by changing its direction, I am changing where light is hitting everything. So this is actually outside the map right now. So let's move it like into the map. Because I think you should be able to see it then. No, it still doesn't. But yeah, so you can see I'm telling it what direction the light should be hitting it from for all directions, which is pretty nifty. And normally there's some arrow thing that shows you that. So here's the light coming from underneath, and then coming from above again. So that's a really cool thing. There is, believe okay, I'm trying to rotate around things like I normally would want to, but it doesn't let me. This one, I believe, I'm trying to remember what some of these were. Yeah. So this one, Ortholite, was like basically just a square, but for one, look at this. Look at the shadows. Oops. It's also much tighter. The shadows are much better quality and much more efficient. But that one I think is for retexturing, also coloration. What was there was one I was looking for. So spotlight, I think, is what you normally would construe as a normal SFM light. But this one, it doesn't have shadows. Can I turn on shadows? Haha. So just the quality of the shadows are just so much better. So this energy is static. You need to bake it to see the effect. For the lights? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Point light, that's what I was looking for. Okay. This is my favorite light. This is an omnidirectional shadowed light. So I can turn on shadows for an omnidirectional light. Now, for those that don't know SFM, SFM lights can only go to a maximum of 180 degrees, but they're going to break a lot of things to get there. Normally, you want to sit like at a 90 degree or lower. So the only way to get light going all directions around a single point is to just put lots of lights coming from that point and pointing at the right things at the right times. But even then, shadows are going to look like crap because they're not going to know how to bend around that. They're all looking at single lights pointing, not an omnidirectional. This is super, super cool. Like, look at this. Like, look how this is doing. Look at this. Like, this is huge to me. I could just do this all day. Like, look, it manipulates the light as you get closer. So yeah. Not only that, but as it's getting further from its source, the shadows actually start lowering in quality, which is what a normal shadow would be doing. So, all right. See you later, DJ. But that's what in terms of here, that is what a directional light would be. The directional light there we go, is where you're picking a single direction that the light is coming from, and all light would come down from that same angle, which means that if I were to say, so I'm guessing the sun's coming from like over there. Let's enable shadows. Not sure what 5 contribution, and then I'm going to do a little bit of yellow and then drop that intensity. So I can choose what direction the sun's coming from. So this light itself is not emanating from this point. It's emanating from everywhere at once. This, where I place this, it does not actually matter. I could put it right here. I could put it way over here. Where it on the map, it doesn't matter. It's only what is its rotation, so that they can determine from what direction the light is coming from. This is what a sun would do. The problem with a lot of suns right now is if you do it in Hammer, you're locked in, and a lot of the shadows you're going to get are baked in shadows. They're going to be pretty poor, or they're not going to be editable, like with live things moving around. Otherwise, you can just make a big light in SFM shining down, but no matter how far you put that light away, it is always going to have a point that it is coming from. And meaning that if you had somebody standing here and over here, they're going to get the light hitting them at a slightly different angle. This has no angle. It is closer to sunlight, which would be a straight line from all directions, and without being baked in. And it's super efficient. Just look how efficient that is. And the cool thing too is if you look at the memory here, that is red, but it doesn't actually mean anything. I can go above 3,300 megabytes of RAM. I was sitting at almost 7 gigs of RAM used on here, where the performance of the software couldn't keep up with all the new crap I was loading. Memory wasn't an issue. So that is also really cool. This light's connected to the skybox. I guess you could say that. It's not connected to anything. It's connected. It's saying all light comes from an infinite distance. So not from skybox or anything. It's just an infinite directional light. And you can have, I'm guessing, more than one of these too. Oh. Aha. Okay. So you can have more than one, but only one of them can be shadowed. Which kind of makes sense because you're creating shadows on everything. But just look at the detail for this. That is a very high detail shadow for it hitting all map at once. I can see through the building. So it's for stuff like this that I am really looking forward to Source 2. The reason I'm not, or at least the reason I haven't been like drop everything and jump into this, is because I think he's broken again. Yeah, he's broken again. But with Rathlos here, I ported everything as I normally would, but none of the flexes worked. So like, again, there is I can't remember what I had to flip to make this actually show up, but see, these are the flexes. Nothing I do actually causes an effect on the model. So their tools currently for converting models over don't work for flexes, which means if I did make anything in Source 2, I would not be able to utilize any facial flexes. That means everybody would just be blank staring forward. I can't really do that. So I haven't done anything in here with that yet, but we have played around in it to kind of get a feel for what it is, seeing what our limits are on terms of our loading of RAM. Basically unlimited. If it's running 64-bit, it's unlimited. Playing with the lights, so we have an understanding of that, some of the camera bits, and so it's got some really cool things. But the thing I like the most about it is the fact that it doesn't feel different. It doesn't feel like they took everything, threw it out the window, and I'd have to relearn everything. It's SFM. So it was just SFM with a whole bunch of new features. It's like skipping 3 iterations. Yeah, some of these loaded, like the model loading is different, but I kind of like it because I can see lots of stuff at once. You can even make it really small stuff. So it's getting really used to that, and all the modding tools, all the conversion tools, and Hammer and everything are integrated together. So I don't have to go and have like outside software to do stuff. I can technically do it all right within the same program. So SFM is no longer, at least from the way I can see it, a separate program to download. It is a part of a suite, which is cool. It's pretty sweet. I just noticed here, change resolution. Now that is cool. I can change the resolution live. I can go up to 1024 now. I think 512 is the max. No, I think you could go up to 1024 before. It just, I did a picture a while back to show the difference between the two. It's not worth. It's not worth doing 1024. Each of these is double the render time, so it looks pretty good at 64 and really good at 128. To go up to 1024 from there, it would take 8 times as long. Not worth it. I actually never really looked in here. Okay, so they separated some of the stuff here between drawing. Enable global light shadow. I don't know what that means. Okay, I thought maybe it was it would be nice if there was a flip switch for disabling shadows across the board just for performance purposes. Well, hello, Doodoo team. Thanks for the bits. Great lecture, by the way. Thank you. Streams can be really educational. Well, yeah, you should learn something every day. And we spend hours actually on Discord. On my Discord, we spent going through, playing around on here, but this was months ago, to try to learn what this was. And is it something worthwhile jumping to? And I would say not yet. Soon. Once flexes can go over, jump. The only thing that'll be a problem is
nothing from SFM is immediately workable in here. You would have to convert things. So until people convert stuff over, or if you're willing to put the time into it, you're going to be limited on your amount of resources. And that's one thing I really like with normal SFM is I have this huge library that I built up over years, and I would be saying bye to that. But it's fine because the lighting alone, the lighting bonuses, are worth every bit of losing the library and adding heading. Delete. Ooh. I want to see if that. I want to see if this works. No longer auto creates a camera when you load a model. That's nice. Okay, so if the model is not in the camera, I just want to know this because if this does what I think it is, this will save me so much time. I just want to make sure it's going to actually show up visibly. Where are you, Radlos? There you are. Okay. Okay, so I can see him. He's in my camera view. Delete. Models outside. Okay, that didn't work. Now I'm sad. Okay. Because I usually will do that. I'll clean up something by deleting everything outside of the visual area, but apparently that doesn't work there. Oh yeah, there's my Discord. So anyways, yeah, I'll get off of SFM2 here, but actually, can you do more than? I'm like, wait, can you do like a tertiary viewport? Because that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, it looks the same. That's the same. That's the same. That's the same. I'm just curious of like what else is different. We played around with the important stuff. Didn't really put time into the other stuff. No scripts. Everything else looks about the same. So I don't know what I don't know what shutdown does. We're not going to shut down. Okay. But yeah, look forward to that. Definitely some better quality. There is some people working in SFM2 right now, though. There's I forgot what the name is, but there's somebody that does a lot of animations using G-Man. And doing some memes with him, and it's using Source 2. But that's using the stuff built within SFM, so. Or not, yeah, built within the Source 2 engine. So yeah, it'll run. That'll run fine. Thanks for the follow fallen dreams. I'd love to join your clans. I really do. Yes, I'm easy time to most slow and beautiful of all, but my cell phone is so full it might explode. Well, that'd be bad. Exploding cell phones. I'm gonna go back to these shitty lights. Okay, I put my cup. Well, I guess I can see through it. It's crappy, but so I want to. This building looks dark compared to its surroundings, so I'm trying to pump it up a little bit. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made.
Feels like the audio continues on past that, but okay. I just opened this and I don't think I loaded models. This is Barn Light. And so I want like a pop sound because I'm gonna need the horn to pop off.
We wrestled with the problem of plausibly repopulating this area with soldiers between each trip.
Okay.
Ah! I'm here. Now I'm here. Surprise you. Ah! Ah! Ha ha! Yes! Mustachio! Mustachio! Ha ha! Mustachio!
I had no idea what that was for a second until I realized what it was. It's Left 4 Dead when they were in the carnival. And it's funny because one of my friends, it goes by Mustachio.
Mustachio!
I'm gonna have to remember that's there.
Devices sociocidal counterabeyance.
Okay, I just want pop noises. This is probably the best one. What are you talking? Oh yeah. Nice. Yeah, Correlato. Sorry, it's on the other screen, but yeah, that's one.
I ever made. Piss. Best decision I ever made. Piss.
Okay, so now I need it like an impact sound. Well, usually impact starts with a buzz saw, so where's my buzz saw? I'm sad. Usually you're supposed to do. Yeah, there's my buzz saw. So it's. I seen a thump. So impact dirt. Just gonna have to look for a generic impact, I think. Thought there'd be one a little different. That's hollow. And this, I never understood this. There is like 32 different sounds for clipboards falling from Portal. Apparently a ton for concrete fragments. There's 38 for medium metal debris. I guess the game was really good sound design, so that makes sense. Let's go overboard. 45 metal tile mediums. No. That actually could work.
Never made.
All right, there we go. Would this be like the Twilight short where she's soldier? Yes, it'd be similar, around the same lines as that. The reason for that was I wanted to make something really, really short to put out that I could at least feel like I'm not, not making stuff. So that was the purpose of that, and that's what the purpose of this is too. So I don't want to put tons and tons of time into it. I think for the Twilight one, most of the time was spent just making the whole like area around her work, because part of the joke was misdirection, making it look like it's something serene and peaceful and then not be, though I had to make a clickbaity thumbnail, so that kind of went against that.
Piss.
Okay. Basically, as I got better, one of the first things to do is join Discord, or whatever platform you like in this case. I don't use Facebook. I have a Facebook, but I really only make it to keep track of some events that are going on. Like one of our smaller groups of friends will make events on there for doing things just to keep track, and for the local brony group. I don't use it for anything else. The information on there is like 3 jobs ago, and I only made it because when I was back in college, I had some friends force me to sit down and work on it, or work on making an account, and it was for the purpose of, back then Facebook was EDU only. You had to have an EDU account, and I was in college, so I had an EDU account, and that was the thing then. So I have a very old Facebook account, but now I feel all Facebook is an invasion of privacy. It's a place for you to put down all your personal information about all the things you like and dislike, and then for Facebook to sell it to companies. I don't like that. I don't want to be a metric. There's better ways to get a hold of people. So, and if I wanted a mass method of communication, I prefer Twitter and a lot of those places. I don't need everybody I know knowing everything about me. Twitter and all that at least has a certain amount of anonymity that's built in that I don't need to provide all that information, or at least it doesn't look weird if I don't provide that information. And you can make more than one account on Twitter, and that's also then not weird. Oh, this is where Applejack has the weird eyes. What pony did? Oh, it was Little Pip, wasn't it? I think for last time. Yes. Okay. I'm not a fan of the like the 3D looking eyes. I'm a fan of the cartoony ones.
I'm gonna...
Yeah. Now they're cartoony. I just feel like they just work better. It's a balanced amount of detail with all the other details that are in the model. I used to be the other way around. I used to swap them all the 3D ones, but I don't like them. Plus, they're harder to edit. But which social media network is the main one in the civilized West? It's Facebook. Social network, sure. I when people talk about how big Facebook is, to me, I just don't see it because I just don't use it. Though I've heard a couple stories of like one of the questions when I started my current job was if I have a Facebook, and yes, I do, but I do want to delete it. But it's only because we work as a government contractor, and I've known other people where they would ask if you have a Facebook, and if they don't have a Facebook, they treat it like the person was lying, that they have to have one. Everybody has a Facebook, which is weird. Like it shouldn't be a requirement of society for people to share all that stuff. Yeah, maybe you can use it in other ways. And for some businesses, it is actually a really good way to get your word out there for stuff. But people share too much stuff on there, way too much. It is just stupid. Like, how do you think Facebook makes their money? They're a multi-billion-dollar company, and where's the money come from? Farmville? I mean, there's probably a good amount coming from there, but nope. VK. Never heard of VK. Is that so? That's the equivalent of like Facebook for Russia then? And but you say, yeah, that's the way it is though. Especially for if it's for security reasons. Because if you say you don't have one and then they find out you do have one and they needed to know for security purposes, that would be considered that you were lying to them. So to them, I can see them being serious on it, but I just think it's ridiculous. So that's why I like Twitter, because Twitter is, I use mainly Twitter and social media for distribution purposes. So it's about sharing the things I'm working on or doing. And I like Twitter because it used to be a lot quicker text that you could read, but now it's longer, but whatever. But it's more digestible. And because when I go through, my Facebook for the family and friends that I do have on there, it feels like the vast majority of it is just things I don't care about. But you feel like you have to follow the person and be on there to be, if they're family, you got to have them on Facebook, and that's just stupid. I'm not a fan of Facebook. I like Twitter. I used to be a fan of DeviantArt, not so much anymore. I think they've kind of fallen off the wayside for me. I still post some stuff on there, but not much. But mainly Twitter and Discord. They're the two main ones that if I'm going to talk with people. Twitter is my posting to the public, and Discord is my more personal interaction with stuff. And Twitch, I like Twitch. Twitch is good. I mean, and YouTube I don't count as a social medium. That's like a Netflix now. Telegram then? I mean, not with a big T. But no, I don't think I've heard of what you're talking about. One of the big things that bugs me with security is these things. Phones. Okay, Gearbox just emailed me some stuff about Borderlands 3, whatever. The fact that the phone basically listens to everything you do, and your ads are dictated based on what conversations you're having. And that's not just conspiracy things. It bugs me that I will have a conversation with somebody about something I've never talked about before, or my phone is sitting next to my radio in the morning and I have NPR playing, and based on the conversations that the radio is having, it will start popping up with ads about things that were from those conversations or from NPR. I never searched it. I never Googled it. I never did anything. But now I am being sent advertisements specific to these things that I have never put in my phone because it's picking up everything. And that bugs me. For IT professionals, there's a thing they would do called a cat food. The cat food test, where you find some phrase like maybe cat food, and you just put the phone down and have a normal conversation about cat food with somebody and just talk about it and go back and forth for like 10 minutes. And within 24 hours, just check the ads on your phone and you will start seeing ads
for cat food. Maybe not guaranteed. It's just going to throw it into the algorithm, and you're just going to start getting weird things popping up. I've had some ads pop up. I'm like, why the hell was that on? And then I remember that there was an ad, there was a block on the radio at NPR in the morning that for 7 or 8 minutes was talking about this very specific thing, and now I'm seeing ads about it. And it's that bugs me. I've turned off all the microphone stuff on the phone, and it still doesn't work. It still picks it up. It bugs me. But unless I jailbroke it and beat the crap out of it, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. I'm kind of locked with it because I kind of need it for some of the stuff now I do now. So like flip phones are superior for at least that purpose. I really don't want to start lip syncing
Becoming
today.
a unicorn was the best decision I ever made.
I can steal. No, these are different lips. Yeah, these are different lips. I was going to steal unicorn, the word unicorn, from somebody, but I can't because they're using a different set of flexes, and these are more detailed. Well, I can at least start keyframing though. What render stream do you use when you export an animation? Generally, it depends on what I'm exporting. If you're just looking on a general standpoint, overall, 30 FPS. I'll normally render in 4K. Whether or not I export to YouTube in 4K, I usually will for the extra bit rate, but it doesn't matter. I will usually do minimum 64, maximum 128 on the render. If it's a lot of very, very slow motion, I will drop the motion blur to 64 or 32. If it's a lot of faster stuff, I will make sure I keep it up the same as the depth of field. Depth of field I usually keep at whatever the highest level is, no matter what. That's generally the settings I'll work with. Sometimes I'll go higher if it's a very short thing that's not intensive. Sometimes I'll go higher because I don't mind the extra render time, or if I already know the render is going to take, say at 64 it's going to take an hour, and I'm going to bed for the render, well then I'm not going to be touching my computer for 8 hours, and I might as well pump it up till 256 because an hour is going to turn to 4 hours or more at 256. So I'll usually balance the quality out with that a bit. I've also had some renders that just don't work, like they'll crash if I put it too high, mainly because I just put too many lights, and SFM's old and crappy, so I can't put it that high, so I'll just put it as high as I can. I would recommend for frame rate, why is the speckles not fixing? I think it is. There's a glitch that happens every now and then where it doesn't do that. I would recommend for frame rate, do 24 or 30. Don't do 60. 60 is neat and smooth, but you're widening the uncanny valley, and it's a lot easier to fall into it. The lower the frame rate, the more cheating you can get away with an animation to make it look better than it actually is. And we are innately programmed to have this feeling that 24 frames a second feels cinematic because that's what movies do. So our brains interpret that kind of frame rate as something as cinematic. That's why Remembrance, when I did that, I had the black bars like in a cinema, and I put in 24 frames per second, so I could go for that cinematic approach. That doesn't always work though if you're doing fast animation. 24 is going to be very sloshy and blurred on a lot of things. So 30 is sometimes better for that. 60 though, unless you're putting a ton of detail into stuff, I recommend against it. Trying to think if there's any other settings. Do make sure though that if you ever change your frame rate after the fact, so like if you ever went in here and changed your render, say you went from 30 to 24 or something, 24 there. Do make sure that you adjust your camera's shutter speed to match, because your camera's shutter speed is always set up to have a shutter speed that is equivalent to the frame rate that you created it at. So in this case, that's just 24 frames. This is a 30 file, but that is a there's a 24 frames per second shutter speed. Your shutter speed should always be 1 divided by your frame rate, or 1 divided by double your frame rate. So 24 frames per second would be 1 divided by 48, which is 0.0208, which is what this is. That's a 24 frames per second. I actually need to do this. So 1 divided by 60 should be 0.0167 for a 30 frames per second. And then it'd be 0.0083 for 60. And what that does is that will extend or shrink down how much of a blur you get on motion. So it's saying if things are much more smoother, lots of frames, you don't want to have a blur that extends past those frames and having the frames pop up in the middle of it. You'll have sloshy looking motion. So you want to have it a much faster shutter speed to shrink down the blurs. But if you're running at a low frame rate, you don't want to have it be too short of a thing too. Otherwise, you're going to make it look like stop motion, where things are going to be skipping forward without anything to connect them to. Which actually can work. I've done that before for some things, because it just sometimes if you're doing 30 FPS and you sit at a 60 frames per second shutter speed, it will make it feel kind of a claymation like, which is kind of cool depending on what you're going for. Has anybody ever, I don't know if maybe I'm just the older one, but anybody played Clay Fighters, the old like Super Nintendo fighting game where it was like all still frame pictures of fighters fighting it out? Yeah, Clay Fighters. Look at this. The game was so fun. 1994? Look at these amazing graphics. They were fun though. That was a fun game. How are you?
Becoming a unicorn was...
Thought I had a video planned for this one too. The song. Yes, I did. I mean, this is the very standard battle or trailer music. Yeah, Heart of Courage. If anybody remembers Mass Effect 2. Yeah, Mass Effect 2, I think, uses a trailer. It was great. And I actually had a plan for a trailer using from Bluebird's song, using this. I just never did it. I never started it. I believe, though, yeah, Bluebird Clip 01. That's actually the start of it. Just never got anywhere with it. This is Heart of Courage. Older song, amazing. 52 million views. Because again, just look up the trailer for Heart of Courage, Mass Effect 2, and it uses that song, and it was very well produced trailer. Very, very good. Back when Mass Effect was a good game. I can't say much. I played the crap out of Andromeda. Not the single player. I have like 10 hours in the single player, but I have 200 hours in the multiplayer, because that was the multiplayer in that game was amazing. Definitely worth the purchase for me. I've been wanting to go back and play it again, but I'm just afraid that there's going to be nobody playing it, and then the multiplayer is going to be dead. Though I think there's crossplay with Steam, so maybe. I don't know. It was fun though. It
It's a lot of fun. Just the lack of content updates made it so that whatever they had, you're never going to see anything more of. So, hello, Blue. All right, let's get some kind of a look down for her here. So I don't want to just have her like looking forward. And I don't want to have it like I've been doing lately where I have them look forward and then I have them look at the camera right after they start talking. No, I'm going to have her I think looking right at the camera to begin with. Some of the songs I'm playing, because a lot of time I've been starting my music at the beginning of my playlist, but I picked at the end and then put it on random, so I'm getting a lot of stuff I haven't heard in a long time, which is kind of refreshing. Hello, Mariana. Mariana, I hope I got that right. What is the map used? You're using it in the darkroom like that. Oh, these are all loaded models. So these are all individually loaded things. We just kind of built it a little earlier today. Her eyes are overly bright. What? Okay. Okay, so it's just the general lights that are hitting her. Wonderful. That makes it harder. I'll deal with that later.
Was the best, and a unicorn becoming a unicorn. Becoming a unicorn. Becoming a unicorn. Becoming a unicorn was the
okay. So then I have her kind of dip down a little bit. Yeah, position for that never turns out well. Are you excited for G5? Not really. I haven't really paid attention to anything with the show in a while. I love being a part of the community, but the show itself, me. I kind of stopped paying attention to it a couple seasons before the end. It took me like a whole weekend to catch up before BronyCon just so I didn't get it all ruined. But no, it's when I oh, this is another amazing song. I didn't join the community because of the show. I joined it because of the community. The show is just it became very quickly the method for being a creative outlet, and the show didn't matter to me on it, which has been great. Just because when people are saying fandom's dead, I'm just like, it's the same to me. It hasn't changed at all. It's kind of nice. The parts I like about it are still there, and so whether or not a season 5 pops up doesn't matter. I'm happy where I am.
Oh no! I have a map loaded. This is the scene build huge void. Everything that's loaded is just like, this is a sky card from Neri. These are just some the hills and the buildings are all from Disco Pears. Yeah, and then Applejack. Who did the enhanced models? Juice Stain. And then the map. I don't know who made the map. I've had it for years.
Becoming a unicorn was the unicorn. Becoming a unicorn. Becoming a
I love scene building though. Thanks for follow, Leonard. I love scene building because it gives me control on both angle, position, how I can use the camera, and I can make it efficient by removing unnecessary things. But it also makes it so that you're not just using something that somebody goes, that's two towers, or that's this and that's that, and it's where they're just recognizing the map. Having something that's unique and different makes it unique and different to that exact thing. Remembrance was one of those things where I could have maybe seen build or put together something in something else, but that made it so that Remembrance was, that is the Remembrance Hall now. It's not Two Fort, it's not Dust Bowl with ponies. It is its thing, and that's where I think scene build is powerful, where it's that instance of it is the video, that is its thing. So I love scene building for that kind of control and power. It does mean a lot more work,
unicorn,
and you have to have a huge resource pool of models.
Was the best decision I ever and a unicorn was the best decision I ever made.
It's too far.
The best decision was the best decision. Best decision.
I think I might do this a little different.
Best decision.
Cut out. Oh, yeah. Actually, maybe the hat was like pre-built for potential unicorns. So, interesting thing with this song. I'll let you listen to it and then I'll tell you where it's from, and it's kind of funny. You'll never guess. did it take to get decent in animation SFM? To get what I would consider decent, about a year. A year of pretty consistent working on things and striving to get better every time. And just try to guess what this is from, this song.
What was the best decision?
It's from Team Medical Dragon. It's a Japanese medical drama. But it is an amazing song. When I heard this, I was just like, I saw this picture and I'm like, what? And so I looked it up and it's so funny. It just looks like overly epic. Team Medical Dragon. I like that.
Was the best decision I was the best decision.
I don't think that underlight is hitting her. There we go.
Decision I decision I ever made. Decision I unicorn was the best.
I feel like this is not actually looking at the camera. It's definitely on the spot. I think it's just... It looks like he's looking like over here or something. I think it's a convergence issue. Trying to perform surgery with the music in the background. I feel like I'd be like spinning the tools in my hands and like throwing them across the room to like cut stuff, and like it'd be pretty cool. And then like ninjas come in and you're like chopping them down, and yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
And a unicorn. Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made. Unicorn was the best decision I ever. Was the best decision I ever made. Was the best decision I ever made.
It's gonna be an SFM animation. Yes, I just don't want to do the lip syncing tonight because that would probably take me an hour and a half, easy. So I'm trying to do the keyframing. So normally for those that don't kind of know animation process, or at least my animation process, I didn't go to school for it, so I'm guessing the whole way through when I figured out animation stuff. But keyframing is mainly about figuring out the general positions you want everything to be along the way. So I know that I'm trying to figure out what positions do I want her in at each of these different points.
Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made.
And so I'm trying to figure that part out. Once that is done and they get the lip syncing in, I don't like doing the animation till lip syncing is done because I feel like a lot of the motions and the emotions and everything that go along with things I can't do correctly unless the face is doing, unless the mouth is portraying those emotions or is involved with it. But then I'll start smoothing that out, and I'll use, so it'll still be my base, but then I now have all my timings done because I'm not using an IK rig, which is where it's going to automate leg movement. That's where I said if I had the camera back where I'm showing the whole body, it'd be a lot more complicated because I don't have the IK rig. This I can cheat a ton. But yeah, I'm going to take that as the base and then just start blending it out and smoothing it and adding a lot of the secondary animation and stuff. But this is going to let me know if I'm going on the right path. It's going to give me the full body motion that I would want without having to be destructive if I was animated as I went. So, oh yeah, sorry, I'm going to back it up to your question, Blue. So does SFM have an IK bone system, bone structure? Yes, it. And also is trying to kill me. So SFM does have an IK rig. The ponies have an IK rig. It's just very poor. One of the big things with IK rigs that make them work is balance. And it's where if you have bones certain distances from each other, that if I bend that bone, it's going, like say if I move my hand here, if I move my arm to here, my elbow can be fully compressed because it's an even distance from each other. So when this is pulled all the way forward, my arm will hit here. The problem is pony arms and legs are not even. Meaning, as you can see here, if I were to compress them downwards, the bone for their elbow is here, but the bone for their leg is down, the equivalent bone. And that isn't really, it kind of is that one, I guess, but they're slightly off from each other. This one's way down here and this one's way up here, meaning that if I compress them down, the furthest I can actually get them down is the butt to this leg. So because of that, an IK rig would only let me get somebody down so far before I would have to still manipulate everything around that rig of you'd have to have the legs spread out a little bit because again, giant tree trunks for legs, and you have to adjust a ton of things. Plus, because of how these foot things are set up, the IK rig tends to collapse right here and make like a paw look. I think the IK rig I have a slightly improved IK rig that somebody made a while ago. But even then I really wouldn't consider it like I'm going to jump to using this rig. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's new drive, so it's not realizing any of this stuff. Steam apps. There we go. I recently swapped from a 10,000 RPM HDD to a cheap NVMe, and it's way better. So actually, I have some information about that too. I learned, but I'll do this first. It didn't even load. But this is a different model. Yeah, okay, so this one worked. The enhanced ones apparently don't work for the... I can make it work, but... So... There we go. So let's grab this. So, see, this is... The back legs, I feel, work okay, but the furthest I can get them down is to, like, here. And even then, I'd have to move it backwards to make it really work. But then anything below that, and I start collapsing without having to move this bone. But if I move this bone, I am effectively moving the whole leg anyway. So I'm in the same boat again, is if I wanted to angle this one backwards so that I could get a better angle, I still have to move it and be in the same situation. And the front legs for the rig, because of how the elbows are set up, are not really fixable. So, because this is not your elbow, this is your elbow. So I have a lot of problems with the rig. Some people make it work, I can't. I gave up. I think their idea is to grab these and turn them up. But again, it feels like you're using the rig to make something simpler, but then you're going through the normal steps I have to go through anyway. Her legs are fine. But see, with extreme positioning, I would definitely not want to use the iCarry rig. Not to say I don't like iCarry rigs in general. The Rathalos model I work with, all of his stuff is fairly balanced, and it's also it just works a lot better. His comes in handy, and I use it all the time. I won't use his animation without it because it does work well. But I think the two things that were against the pony are bone distances not correctly proportioned, and four legs on the ground. That just makes it harder as well. Rathalos only has two. But that's why I do all the keyframing. Because with if I keyframe everything, I'm going to definitely have a lot of difficulties if I try to add a lot of extra animation or details to a motion afterwards. So like secondary motion or certain things. But as long as I put the extra time I need to into doing the keyframe, it actually doesn't bother me at all. I feel like it does take a little bit more time, but I'd still be doing these exact same steps anyway. It would just save me some time. That's it. The Rathalos one, the reason I can throw through things or make those so much quicker is because of the rig. I can make a lot more detailed motions and save a lot of time for the small little motions. So a lot of the stuff with AJ here, having her swing forward and backwards and stuff, that would be quicker. But here you can see her legs are actually bent backwards. Well, if I was using the rig, that wouldn't happen. I just feel like I would be fighting the rig more than it would be helping me. And so I just haven't bothered. And trust me, I have went through here and I have tried to improve it. That's why, like, these are the two ones that was sent over that were an improved version, and these are my two of me trying to play with it months afterwards. But that was from 2014. I gave up pretty quickly afterwards. I have learned a lot about rigs since then. For instance, these Rathalos ones, well, it's the Rathian one, but the Named Bones one was where it finally clicked on how some things work in there, and now I have a better understanding. So because I figured that out, I was able to build or modify that one to work for Nergigante and for Tobakadachi. And Tobakadachi is a four-legged creature and works pretty well. So I guess it kind of goes against the four-legged thing there too. And I think Valhazak is also four-legged, though like for like Nergigante, his preloaded sequence for sitting and standing in place, the rig can't handle his wing placement. It will collapse the rig.
So I do not use, or I have a version without the wings if I'm in that positioning, so that it doesn't do that. But that's because rigs maintain distance. I can't shrink the bone of my forearm down, so the rig doesn't let me do it either. But in some of the cases, some of the animations, bone shrinking is a necessity. I've done that a bunch here with legs, where I will actually like grab the chest and I will do this, or maybe not to that example, but I will stretch the bones past their normal positioning, and a rig won't let you do that. So you can. But I was going to say about NVMEs. So I did upgrade recently my I used to use a 2 gig spin drive for general use for SFM and a bunch of other stuff, and I upgraded recently to a 2 gigabyte NVMe. And for this, I paid, so my 1 terabyte NVMe is a Samsung 970 EVO. I paid twice as much for that 1 terabyte as I paid for a 2 terabyte Inland one, so a cheap brand. Speed wise, they're pretty much identical. But I know that SSDs and stuff tend to have a better speed on a higher capacity, but the speed on my Samsung is faster, but maybe by like 5 to 10%. And when you're talking about 3.5 gigs a second, it's not going to make a difference. Because this one I think was like $320 for the 1 gig. I've had it for a couple of years though. This 2 terabyte cost me like $110. It was on sale, but it's so nice having an NVMe for speed. But it does worry me that all of my videos that I've ever made are now sitting on a less reliable drive. That's also a little bit worrying. That's why I'm gonna get this. Please tell me you're still working. 60. Oh, just hit 65%. I think the vault's gonna work. I'm calling it the vault. That's where I'm putting all my stuff. Soon. I'm looking forward to getting that over there. I want my goal. Well, this is going to be removed, but this, yeah. So actually, this is a point of it. It's not working right now because it's not linked. But I'm going to have it where my 2 computers are going to have the, or I'm going to have access to the folder on this computer to where I can drop stuff onto the other server computer, and that's what that's going to be, which is actually pretty nifty. And it's gonna be a lot faster, or should be a lot faster. I hope it's a lot faster. If it's not, then it kind of feels like a waste. But that's because this is my storage drive, and it's kind of full, just a little bit. But my goal is I'm gonna have that set up. I'm gonna have all my storage set up there, and then I'm gonna be looking into a decent cloud service online that will do a secondary backup to my backup. Mainly because I can have a backup here, even with the RAID 10, but if my computer starts on fire, RAID's not fireproof. So if my whole place burns down, I still lose everything. So I want to have an offsite backup, which is the recommendation.
I ever made. Unicorn was the best decision I ever made. Unicorn was the best decision I ever. It was the best decision I
don't really care about or don't need to do this now, but I kind of want to get an idea for it. So her left eye, we're gonna do that. This is one of my favorite songs. Let's call it Love You Forever, I think. Yeah.
Best decision I ever made. This decision I ever made.
You brought the Game Boy that survived a bomb blast and still powered on? No. But those are old toys. Older toys, at least, were a little bit more robust now. It used to be that you could take your phone and you could, like, throw it off of a 10-story building and have it ran over by a dump truck, and it would still play Snake. But now, like, if I push too hard on my screen, I could break it. Phones are not what they used to be. But they're also super powerful and pretty cool, so take it.
It's the best decision I ever made.
Okay, this is gonna take the position from here. So I'm gonna grab in, but where she was pushed out like that, I'm gonna have her go forward a bit. Like that. So this is where keyframing can be a lot easier, is if you just steal pieces of other animation.
It's the best decision I ever made. Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made. Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made.
So I can have an idea as to what I'm doing here.
Piss. Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made.
Okay, so I already have it a bit for her sitting back further. So I'm going to use that again. So she'll pull back a little bit. And then I'll have her just look down. So I'm going to take her... There we go.
Piss.
Let me get you see what it's gonna look like.
Becoming a unicorn was the best decision I ever made. Ah, piss.
I like it. Just having Applejack say "ah piss" just makes it.
Ah, piss. Ah, piss. Ah, piss. Piss. Ah, piss.
A little overtime here, but just want to do one little thing here. So the horn is locked to her head. I'm going to have to redo the horn animation later with it not locked, because I'm going to have to do that at the very, very end, because I'll have to unlock it from her head completely. The only other way to do that is to use two different horns, one that's locked and then disappears right at the moment that it pops, and then have another one take its place and have be the one that one moves. Otherwise, it's always locked to her motion. So,
Piss. 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 A piss. 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 Piss.
wow, it's playing some. Is this put on random? From hell. That's not the name of that song. This is Miracles. I don't know why that's named weird. This is the. I'm pretty sure this is the. No, this is just called Stay. Why is this called From Hell? Whatever. These are like old songs. Miracles, I believe, is the CD that actually contains Remembrance's song. Remember Me. Well, that's because it's not the one playing. I just had my mouse over it. Where are we in this list? Whatever. No, but it says From Hell. I don't know. Well, thank you. I try. Comedy, like, I like trying some new things, and I have wanted to try horror or something scary. But comedy to me is the only medium that you can make something that's 4 seconds long. You can't make anything over, like, emotionally or with an emotional investment that is 4 seconds long. You can't make anything that's epic in a fight scene 4 seconds long, because it's only going to leave people wanting more. Funny is the ones where you can make something nice at 4 seconds long, and it's actually good in itself encompassed. So, and they're just fun to make because you can laugh along the way. Well, Remembrance, there's a reason that a lot of those bloopers exist, is because we had to make comedy along the way, just to have some fun. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna backtrack to Leonard's question here. What is your favorite MLP fan series, video or fan series that you have not made? Probably DWK's stuff. He basically went full animating towards the end, but he's kind of disappeared now. I don't know if anybody knows where he went. Where'd my chapstick go? Oh, it's in my pocket. Things are getting drier here.
his stuff was just great. I loved his content. We used to just watch it at conventions all the time. Other than that, I can't really think of anybody exactly. There's nobody I really watch for a lot of stuff. Oh, I watch a lot of tech and documentary and type informational stuff. I don't watch many creator channels, actually. Well, even those people are creators to a degree. I'm going to be good on here, though. I'm glad the audio actually worked this time. Again, it's a Band-Aid. Didn't solve the issue. It just prevented the issue from triggering, but it's a step forward, I guess. So yeah. That is it for Friday. I'll try to start some of the lip syncing on it between now and next week or next Tuesday. I don't think it's going to happen though. I have to work on another highlight. I was trying to do a weekly release for videos, but I think I'm going to extend that to 2 weeks because a weekly is difficult. It is really hard to keep up on that schedule because it takes 3 evenings to do, and that's half a week. Well, if you count streams on the other 2 days, that's more than half a week. It's only 2 nights free. So I'm going to try to do it every 2 weeks to have something out. And I want to potentially, for the next highlight, to grab that request stream that we did a couple of weeks ago. I think it was like a month ago now, where I didn't have any ideas for anything at that time. So we just said, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And that was actually really fun. And I think I can make a whole highlight just off that single video. So I might do that. Otherwise, I don't know. So, yeah. Otherwise, well, hello, John. Well, welcome, Raid Party, to the end of this stream. Well, I was going to actually be playing... I have to finish up Hades. I am super close to finishing that game. So I was probably actually going to do that now. I have 2 achievements left. And the only achievement I have left to do is to get syphilis. To get whatever the rock dude's name is. I have to get his trophy. You're not gonna be overrun as 2 people, but welcome. Appreciate you coming. So I was probably gonna go play that. But yeah, I can stream that if you want. But I'm kind of end game, so it'd probably be pretty boring. Michael will be back next week too. He's in Kentucky right now. It's all over with their stream. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's usually we end at 9 o'clock, so I'm a little over as it is. But no, Michael will be back. I'm gonna try and find someone who is streaming 3D stuff. I usually do. So we were starting something. I haven't did the animating part of it yet for today, but I will be back on Tuesday. Yes, I will be doing more on Tuesday. But most of what I do on this channel is 3D stuff. Do data. Yeah, I don't have it set up on this. No, I don't have it set up on this chat mode. But yeah, I will be doing I want to try to hit the Michael song enhanced a little bit, so I want to poke at it a little bit. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for the follow, Chan. Yeah, actually, I'm really surprised. Like, it used to be that Source Filmmaker. Thanks for the follow, John. Is what had like an option on Twitch. I don't know, what am I pointing at? What do I point at there or whatever? It had an option for Source Filmmaker so people can actually join that were specific to that animating software, but now there's none. There's an animation, like, what is the flag? I can't remember what it is. You can choose that like thing
But otherwise, there is nothing I can choose for what I'm playing. Art was the closest I could come up to it. They have modeling, but they don't have animating. So art was the best I could figure out because they took the legitimate software that I was using away from being on Twitch, which is stupid. I don't know why. Maybe there's ones of many people using it, sure. But it was actually kind of nice because if there was people that wanted to learn that specific software, people would pop up searching on SFM to learn stuff specific to the questions, or they had a question specific to SFM, and it was nice for getting them to find that. But now you just hope. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. But no, I'm probably just gonna enjoy some personal time, I think. I'm gonna grab another water. I'm thirsty. It's a problem with the winter. It's already winter. But anyways, yeah, I'll be back next week. So have a good night. Thanks for the support, guys. Thanks for coming and watching. Michael, again, yes, will be back. So your impressions will be back then too. So have a good night, everybody. Have Kitty. Kitty does come with the Michael song. So we'll pause this. Wait, hold on, I gotta unpause. There you go. There you get your Michael song. He will never live down the Michael song now. Thanks, Epic. Alright, see you guys later.